Welcome to the lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the Windows 10 control panel. The Windows 10 control panel is one of the important utilities that you may need to know about the Windows 10 operating system. If you were the captain of a ship and you were on the main deck, you would be looking at the Windows 10 control panel. From here, you can manage all the utilities and software components of your system. The Windows control panel is a centralized location of within the operating system that allows the user or administrator to customize the operating system to their particular needs. There's a large number of utilities that are available to you and give you total control of the look and feel of your system. As an IT professional, you need to know the function of the Windows control panel in order to configure, change, and troubleshoot various features of the operating system. Now, to get familiar with the Windows control panel, I advise you to try out the utilities and play with them. Look at the changes that they can make to the system. It's a great way to learn about all the features of the control panel. Now, the control panel is a lot of different components made up called applets. Now, some of the components in the control panel are not applets, but we'll look at that and I'll explain to you as we move further. So, to access the control panel, you would open up the start menu and type in control panel in the search box. That's one way to reach the control panel. You can press the Windows plus the X key at the or the right tap on the lower left of the corner of the quick access menu, and you can choose control panel that way as well. Now, once you get to the control panel, there's two different views you can have. There's the default view is the category view, and it shows you different categories like system and security, network and internet, hardware and sound. Or you can change it to what's called the classical view. In the older versions of the Windows operating system, they were listed out per component. Now, change to the classical view, you up in the right hand corner, it has a view by, and you can change that view by to change for small icons or large icons from the category view. And once you do that, it'll give you an itemized view of the control panel. Now, let's look at one of the most important components of the control panel is the internet options, or the you can type in or find it by typing in the program name inetcpl.cpl. Now, this opens the Internet Properties dialog box. You can use this to configure the browser environment, meaning the browser, how it reacts to websites. There's a different tabs when you open up the Internet options utility. You have the general, security, privacy, content, connections, programs, and advanced. In this utility, you can set your homepage. You can delete your browsing history. You can set what security settings to download what applets or what programs. How does your browser function with websites? What it's allowed to download and what is it allowed to access in those websites as well. Total control of your browsing experience in the Internet Options utility. Device and printers. You can manage external devices and printers like your webcams, everything that's connected to your computer. You would see here in the device and printers section of the utility. Programs and features. This is a powerful utility because allows you to view and uninstall desktop apps that are installed on the Windows. You can also see the installed updates by clicking the View Installed Updates on the left hand side of the applet. Now, this applet lets you install and remove features in Windows. You can turn on or turn off Windows features and for different applications. They're all part of the OS like Internet Explorer, PowerShell, things like that. You can turn those off and turn those on or not include those features. Networking sharing is another one that you would use from time to time because you can view and change active network connections under the network and sharing. You can manage your adapter settings. You can manage your file and printer sharing, change network discovery when you're looking on a network for other computers or don't want your computer to be found. The system. Now, the system component is probably one of the most important applets in the operating system. In this applet, you can make the most significant changes to the operating system. Now, these are just some of the things that you can do from the system piece of the applet. Network identification. You can in here you can change the network ID that it's connected to. The device manager, which we covered previously. Hardware, how the hardware in your machine is being used. User profiles, setting and configurations for users on the system. Environmental variables, startup and recovery, what to do during a startup and what to do in case of an unexpected shutdown. Also, you can set up dual booting here if you had multiple operating systems on this system. The performance, set the size of your virtual memory. Virtual memory is not just your physical memory, but your hard space used as memory. System protection lets you enable, disable, system restore, and create restore points. Also, there is the remote piece in there. This allows you to set up remote access to your computer, the remote desktop feature. Computer name. This is a powerful utility here because under the computer name, you can go in and change how your computer is, number one, named, number two, what networks it can connect to, whether it's a work group or a domain, which will be covered in later lessons. Also, there's advanced features here in the control panel utilities, as well as a device manager that we spoke about earlier. Windows Defender Firewall. In Windows 10, the Windows Defender Firewall is used to block access from the network. It first appeared in Windows XP Service Pack 2, and it was changed a little bit in Windows Vista. The Windows Defender Firewall is a host based built in firewall included in Windows 10 operating system. The firewall is turned on by default and has many settings that you can select to configure security for your particular needs. By default, incoming traffic to your system is blocked. Now, in the security MMC, once you open it up, you can have a great control over incoming and outgoing files. Now, under advanced settings, a lot of robust inbound and outbound rules setup. You can set up rules based on port, program, or predefined settings. Create security rules for authenticating and encrypting traffic. And you can also, when an application attempts to listen to specific network traffic, the operating system will display a box asking you to confirm this. A lot of great security controls in the Windows Defender firewall. The mail utility. The mail applet allows you to configure the Microsoft Outlook when it's installed on the system. So if you had Microsoft Outlook installed, you would be able to, in this applet, configure an email account, add additional OST files, RSS feeds, SharePoint lists, internet calendars, and published calendars, and address books. Outlook would generally configure itself in the initial configuration, but all the information to manage that will be here in the mail applet. The sound utility. You can view and change the default playback of recording devices of your system. Devices will vary based on the vendor and type. Also, you can change your operating system sound scheme here. Accounts allows you to view and create Windows accounts, manage the account, change the name, account type, picture. You can also change the user account controls or the UAC for the operating system. Device Manager, which we covered before, manage peripherals and devices, check the status of non functioning devices. Indexing options, very great utility here because it automatically indexes files and that's in a folder. Now, this speeds up your searching. When you're searching for a particular file inside of a folder, this speeds it up. Administrative tools, another powerful applet here. In administrative tools, it's a shortcut to various tools: the computer management, the disk cleanup, event viewer, iSCSI connections if you want to set up an iSCSI, performance manager, and also ODBC database or database connections. Not really a applet, but a collective of amount of administrative tools here. File Explorer options. Customize how files and folders appear. You can control how folders are open, meaning if you single or double click them, if you open up the folder, does it open up in the same folder or in a new window? A lot of good control here. You can control privacy settings, show hide hidden files and folders, or hide empty drives, hide file extensions, and more. Power options. A lot of good information here. Allows you to choose a power plan of a balanced power saver or high performance plan. Each of these plans dictates when the devices will turn off, and be put to sleep. Now, Windows allows you to change settings of each of the power plants to customize them more closely to what you need. So, under the change advanced power settings, you can further perform configurations such as specifying when a hard drive turns off, turning on network adapters, system cooling policy, and internet options or JavaScript timer frequency. A lot of control here. And again, all in detail here. Also, under advanced power options, you can do something called wake on LAN. Uh, this is an Ethernet standard. So basically, when a communication controller is sent to the LAN or the Ethernet, it allows the system to that is sleep wake up and be active on the network. Generally, not used a lot of in a lot of networks nowadays, but this is an Ethernet standard. And also, you can choose if it was a laptop, what happens when you close the lid. Now, there's four states that you can choose from, whether it's on battery or being plugged in. You can do nothing, sleep, hibernate, or shut down. Other power options. Windows Fast Startup. This is an advanced feature that allows the system to hibernate during shutdown. Now, this allows for a quicker startup. It attempts to know when a cold boot is required. And there's also something called the Universal Serial Bus or USB Selective Suspend. Basically, this feature suspends power to a device through a USB port, saves power when the device is not in use. Ease of use is another utility that you'll see. This is accessibility settings for Windows users. Um, On-screen keyboard, magnifier, high contrast color scheme, and narrator. Okay, a lot of different tools and utilities under the Windows control panel. We looked at the internet options, the device and printers, programs and features, network and sharing center, Windows Defender, mail, sound, user accounts. We looked at the device manager, indexing options, administrative tools, everything under the Explorer options, power options, and also the ease of use. Thank you for joining me for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson.